Hi, this is Stuart with Spitfire Audio's customer experience team. I'm here to show you original cinematic soft piano. Starting in the top left corner of the plugin, you'll find an LED. This will flicker between red and green whenever the plugin is loading, but will remain a constant green whenever the plugin is fully loaded. Following that are CPU and disk meters. These monitor the performance of your computer while using the plugin. After that is a memory display. This shows the amount of sample content that's being preloaded into memory. Next is the voice count. This shows how many streams of audio are being played at once. To the right of the voice count is a refresh button. Clicking on this will refresh the instrument, while Option or Alt clicking will refresh the entire plugin. To the right of this is the MIDI channel setting. This defaults to any, but can be changed to MIDI channels 1 through 16 if need be. To the right of the MIDI channel setting are tuning and panning knobs, as well as a volume fader that sets the volume for the master output of the plugin. To the right of the volume fader is an ellipsis. Clicking on the ellipsis will allow you to change the velocity response. Default is linear velocity, but this can be changed to be shelf velocity, exponential negative, or exponential positive. You can also reset and clear the CC mappings from here as well. Clicking on the cog to the right of the ellipsis exposes the settings for the plugin. In the General tab, you can copy the settings from this plugin to be applied to all of your other Spitfire plugins. In the Interface tab, you can toggle the help text on and off, change the default size and scale of the plugin window, enable automatic unload with mixer fader, which means that whenever a signal fader is at the bottom of the mixer, it automatically offloads the signal. Change the way the gain units are displayed, whether that be in decibels or as a percentage, and disable host automation. You can also change the knob drag type, disable warnings for missing samples, and disable the auto hide knob parameter pop-up. In the Audio tab, you can change the maximum voices that can be played by the plugin, adjust the preload and stream buffer sizes, as well as change the master tuning. You can change the default stereo outputs here as well. In the Plugin tab, you can change the preset that loads whenever the plugin is initially opened. In this case, it's Cinematic Soft Piano 5050. In the About tab, you can find a link to the full manual for Cinematic Soft Piano, as well as our EULA and terms of use. To discard the changes that have been made, click Cancel. To apply the changes that have been made, click Save. The plugin window is split into two parts. The upper half is where the presets are loaded from. To display only the upper half of the plugin, you can click this button here. You can click the button again to unfold the collapsed view. You can open the preset menu by clicking the arrow. This is where the available patches for the plugin can be loaded from. You can star presets so that they'll show up in the starred filter if need be. This can be applied to user patches as well. To load a patch, simply click on the patch name and then click Load. If you make changes to the patch and want to save it as a custom user preset, you can do so by clicking the floppy disk icon and clicking Save. In the top half, there are two faders and the knob. The leftmost fader is the expression control. This adjusts the level of the technique. The fader to the right is the dynamics control. This will limit the lowest velocity playable, essentially acting as a dynamic range compressor. Following that is the knob. Clicking on this exposes the four controls for the library that can also be found directly beneath it. In the bottom half of the plugin are the mix settings as well as the controls that were available in the knob above. The three signals can be loaded or offloaded by clicking the toggle switches beneath the name of each. Custom mix settings can be saved by clicking the downward pointing arrows. They can then be loaded by clicking the set of arrows to the right of this. To the right of the mixer section are the four controls that are also present in the knob. The first is reverb, which controls the amount of reverb being added, followed by tightness. This cuts further into the note to make it tighter. At lower volumes, it allows more of the piano's mechanical noise to be heard. After tightness is hammer volume. This controls the volume of the piano's hammers. Finally, pedal volume. This controls the volume of the sound of the sustain pedal being pressed and released. After making changes to the patch, you can lock the controls by clicking the lock icon here. This will prevent any accidental changes from being made to the patch. That's Original's Cinematic Soft Piano. If you have any questions or need any help, feel free to reach out.